A Sikh shop owner in Ilford has received a poison pen letter from an immigrant who lives nearby telling him he's forgotten his skin colour because he flew an English flag outside of his shop. I talk a lot about community divisions and tensions in London on this show, as I'm sure you know if you watch. And it's not coming from racist white people in London. There really is community tension. There really is a lack of community cohesion. And I don't think the answer is just importing more people and telling white people to stop being racist, because that just isn't the case. And this story of a Sikh business owner in Ilford receiving a letter from another person who was of a similar ethnic background telling him he's forgotten his skin colour because he flies the English flag tells us everything we need to know. It's interesting. The Daily Mail reports on this. They say a Sikh shop owner who put St George's flags outside of his store defies hate mail trolls who asked him, "Have you forgotten your skin colour?" The Sikh shop owner, Gagan, put St George's flags outside his store on Wednesday. The next day, he received a letter saying he shouldn't show support for England. The Indian business owner was accused of forgetting his motherland. Gagan is manager of GMS Heating and Plumbing in Ilford, East London. Now, the first thing I would say is if you do live in Ilford, give this man some business because he deserves it. But secondly, it's worth mentioning that, weirdly enough, the letter that he received begins with "Dear Uncle," which suggests that it comes from somebody from an Indian background, because in India, young people call older men uncle, they call older women auntie. It's kind of like what you do in England when, you know, your mum's dearest old friend suddenly becomes your Auntie Maureen, even though she's not. So it's obviously written by somebody from an immigrant background, probably India, and actually you can tell as well from the grammar, it's obviously somebody who speaks English as a second language. And the letter reads, "Dear Uncle, you are not from India. You have put wrong flag outside your shop when you have come from India. Have you forgot that your skin colour? You should know that you don't forget your motherland country. Yes, if you Indian people being kicked out from India, then it is okay. Therefore, then you should put Pakistan flag outside your shop, not British. If National Front skinheads see this flag outside, they will kick you back to Indian without your trousers on and give you flour to take. You should always look at background where you came from, and please tell Indian people to have shave and remove hair on head, as this is caring flea." So I think you can get the general gist of what was being said there. He's talking about how this business owner has lost his identity, he's forgotten where he's from, and that he should be scared because if the National Front see him flying English flags, then they're going to kick him out with no trousers on, which is ludicrous. The left created this. I don't mean the left actually penned the letter themselves, but they might as well have done, frankly. This kind of tension, this kind of fear, and the fact that people are basically threatening, or at least intimidating, people from their own ethnic background in London for flying the English flag, this has been created by the left. This is what happens when people are terrified of an imaginary far right. The National Front is going to kick him out with no trousers on? Please, the National Front barely exists. It's an old man's drinking club with about 12 members. There's no real threat here. Nobody is going to be kicking this man out for supporting England. The owner of the shop says, by the way, that he's been supporting England in the World Cup for 20 years, and now he says that the notes that he's received have made him more determined to support the team. Brilliant. He told the Ilford Recorder, "Supporting England during the football is enjoyable and all part of the fun, and some people seem to think that it's wrong for us to do it because we are Indian." You know what? Good on this man. And as I say, if you live in Ilford, go and give him some business. The left is creating the monster they claim to oppose. When I see a Sikh Indian business owner in Ilford flying the English flag, I feel proud. And if you ask any England supporter, any England football team supporter, if they'd be happy to see an Indian man flying the English flag in London, you will universally be told yes. The left only cares about gaining political power. They don't care about immigrants. They don't care about community cohesion. They want to take control of the country as they have done with the institutions. And if that means lying to the immigrant population of London and Britain and telling them there's a huge movement of National Front skinheads who want to kick him out the country, then by God, they're going to do it. And this isn't the case, by the way. London would be infinitely better off if Sikhs and Indians could fly the English flag with pride without fear of their own communities ganging up on them and telling them to be more proud of Pakistan or India. London would not be this divided if the left stopped telling lies. It's time for the left to stop telling immigrant communities in the UK, and specifically London, that there are neo-Nazis out to get them and that white people will always be racist to immigrant communities. It's just not true. If you want to see more from me and the rest of the Rebel team, remember to like and subscribe.